I recently bought the Logitech C930E and I was really disappointed by the frame rate out of the box. At Full HD, even though it was advertised at 30 frames a second, it performed more like 10 or 15. So after reading a lot of forum posts, I finally figured out how to fix it. I'm going to run through what I did. I did quite a lot of things, but you might not need to do all of them. You might only need to do one or two. I'll start with the most obvious ones, and then we can work our way down. Okay, so the first thing is the Logitech C930E is a business webcam. It is made for boardrooms with a lot of natural light. And because of that, it requires a lot of natural light to work at 30 frames a second. So if you are in a room with no natural light, like the one I am in now, you will not get 30 frames a second by default. It is now 20 to 10 in the evening in South Africa, and it's obviously dark and there's no natural light coming in here, so it's trying to compensate, and that lowers the frame rate. So what works for a lot of people is the following. You can simply go into your recording software and then configure the web camera that you're using. Simply turn off low light compensation. For most people, this will work. This is the most obvious thing, and the thing that most people on the forum said worked for them. You can still manually tune it for the right lighting conditions, but then it's not trying to auto-detect it. So as you can see, it's quite fast now. This is 30 frames a second. However, if I enable it, you can see it immediately degrades completely. So that's the first thing. Okay. Unfortunately, doing that did not work for me. So I needed to try something else. So I read on the forum that the drivers for the C930E are pretty bad. So you need to remove the Logitech drivers and install the Microsoft ones that actually come with Windows 10. They can be manually downloaded for Windows 8 or 7. On Windows 10, to replace your Logitech driver with the Microsoft driver, you simply have to do the following. You go to settings, or let's just go to system, somewhere directly. Device manager, imaging devices, Logitech webcam C930E. You right click, go to properties, click on driver, click update driver. Then you click on browse my computer for driver software, and then you click on let me pick from a list of device drivers for my computer. Then it should list two, the Logitech webcam driver, which you don't want, and the USB video device driver from Microsoft, which you do want. Then you just click next and finish installation. After you did this, reboot your PC. As you can see, the driver I'm using is the Microsoft one. Reboot your PC and then go back to your recording software and disable low light compensation and see if that works. Unfortunately, this too did not work for me. So I was racking my brain. Why is this webcam not working? So I thought, let me download my motherboard drivers. I just assumed when I installed Windows 10 that it would have the latest drivers and all the drivers would be correct. But this was not the case. So I went to Gigabyte's website. I have the Z77-D38D3H motherboard, and I downloaded the chipset drivers and installed that. And after rebooting, all my problems were solved. So in conclusion, you need to try three things. Firstly, always try to disable low light compensation if you do not have a lot of natural light coming into your room. Make sure your video format is MJPEG. Why UY2 is the bandwidth required for that is just too high for this web camera to support. So it must always be MJPEG. Okay. After that, replace the default Logitech drivers with the Microsoft drivers. And if that's still not working, that should solve most of the problems. If it's still not working, then download your motherboard drivers and see if that works. I really hope this helps for you. Let me know in the comments.